Today, I want to talk about what I had to give up to lose 10 pounds in a month. About 3 months ago, I decided to embark on a journey to lose the next 10 pounds. I was still at an unhealthy BMI range and body fat percentage, even though I had lost 30 pounds already. But no matter what I did, I found back in May that I started to plateau and I just couldn't seem to lose any more weight. So for 6 months, I kept going up and down around the same weight and I got very frustrated and I really wondered if I was going to be able to lose more weight. So I decided that I was determined that I was going to get that scale moving again, and I knew what I needed was an expert. I needed somebody, a coach or something who would be able to help me figure out exactly what I was doing wrong. So I came across this YouTube channel called Trainer Joe's, and he promised, and he seemed very confident that he could help anyone lose 10 pounds in 3 weeks. Now, I have to be honest, I had my doubts because I'm at a little bit lower of a weight, and I wondered if it would really be possible for me to lose that much weight in 3 weeks. So I decided I was going to give it a try because he seemed really confident, seemed like he'd had a lot of experience with this type of thing, and so I thought, what do I have to lose? So I decided to sign up for the program, and once I was able to learn a little bit more about what it entailed on the first day, there were a couple of things that I realized I was going to have to give up. The first one was that I was not going to be able to eat after 7:30 at night because one of the premises of this program was that in order for you to lose weight, you are going to have to be in a calorie deficit and you are going to have to be hungry. Now for me, 7:30 ended up being a little too late, and I decided to cut it off around 6 to 6:30 right before my nightly walk. And that was actually pretty comfortable with me. I had a little bit of hunger the first week later in the evening, but I found after I went through 3 weeks that it was actually pretty easy for me to cut off at that time without feeling a lot of intense hunger. The second thing I had to give up was a couple of extra 100 calories. So believe it or not, I had my calories pretty low, but when I set up my eating plan and I tested it out to see if I was actually losing weight day after day during the program, I found that I did have to lower it just a couple more 100 calories in order to get that scale moving again. Now, sometimes people are worried about lowering their calories because they're worried that they're going to stunt their metabolism. That actually did not happen for me. I lowered my calories to around 850 calories, and I found that that was relatively comfortable for me. I definitely was feeling some hunger throughout the day, but it wasn't completely undoable, and I wasn't feeling like I was starving. Now, the third thing that I had to give up, and this was a hard one for me, and that was I had to lower my fat content. So previously, I had been eating a relatively high-fat, low-carb diet, and for the most part, I was able to lose 30 pounds utilizing that kind of strategy. However, on Trainer Joe's program, he really had you dial the fat down and increase the protein. And so I had to shift the ratio of my foods. Now that meant I had to give up things that I loved, like cheese, which is a total comfort food for me. And it was really hard for me to give that up, as well as I had to give up the creamer in my coffee. The creamer in my coffee is what I believe was causing me the most problem with my plateau, because I could sip between 3 and 4 cups of either coffee in the morning, or I would convert it more into like a hot chocolate in the afternoon. And I would just sip on those throughout the day. And that was giving me that little bit of comfort to where it was easier for me to eat fewer calories because I was satiating myself with those creamed coffees. Once I lowered that number down to 1 per day, that one change probably shaved off 150 calories per day, which helped me with lowering my calories overall. And I was able to get between a 0.3 and 0.5 pound weight loss every single day. So those 4 things combined were absolutely crucial for me to try to lose this 10 pounds in 3 weeks. And now I'm going to share with you my 3-week results on this 21-day program. My starting weight on this program was 147, between 147 and 148. My week 2 ending weight was 141.4, so that was a total of 6 pounds over 2 weeks, 3 pounds average a week. And then my final weight at the end of week 3 was 138.6. So at that point, I had lost a total of 9 pounds, which was about 3 pounds per week. But another 5 days after that, I actually dropped that extra pound to 137.8 and was finally able to drop 10 pounds. So didn't quite hit it within 3 weeks. I hit it a little bit over that 3-week period. But it didn't matter because that was close enough and I felt great. I also knew now exactly what I needed to do to be able to get that scale moving again after practicing these habits for the last 3 weeks. Now I feel like I have the confidence and the knowledge that I need to be able to move forward toward my weight loss goal. And if you would like to hear in more detail, step by step, how I lost those 10 pounds, you can go ahead and watch this video right here in the end screen when it's available, or subscribe so that you can see it when it comes out. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you in the next video.